Hey guys, John here. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back once again to This World My Take, where the headline meets real talk. How you guys doing? I hope this week is going on pretty good for you and your loved ones. And it's always an honor to have you stop by and check out what we have to say on the platform. Folks, before we do get started, I would like you to please help the platform out. Do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification so that whenever I do drop something, you'll be the first to be notified. That being said, folks, I want us to talk about something real quick. We all know that there's been this whole situation of ICE raids, deportation, Latinos and so on and so forth going on in America. And somebody sent me something and asked me my opinion about it. So let's talk about that, man. I'm laughing because it's definitely something that didn't actually age well. And we all know that America has the demographic of a whole lot of Latino descendants. And it's a beautiful thing to have this diversity in America. However, it turns out that Donald Trump has never liked this whole issue of diversity, and which is why he whipped up his base, a base that has been dormant, who have been having this same sentiment, and they have not, brought it up to light. But then with the entrance of Donald Trump into the modern American politics, these sentiments came up to light. Now let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump's first presidency wasn't the best. We can all talk about the COVID-19 situation, the mishandling of that. We can talk of so many, signs and indications of, corruption during the first term, and that came and went. And then came Joe Biden, who did his best, brought the economy back to power where it was supposed to be after Donald Trump sunk it with the Republican Party. And then he had the opportunity to run again for the second term. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to talk about this whole second term campaign situation. You guys see me, I'm smiling because I just had a conversation with this person, and it's really interesting because during his campaign, this man actually smooshed a whole lot of minorities to actually jump onto the bandwagon. However, we've known that there are a particular minority in America who actually feel and think that they are highly privileged when it comes to white America. And of course, that is the white Cuban Latino minority. Let me say that. And why do I say the white Cuban Latino minority? Is because these folks, they think that just because they have that, they look like white, they are the closest things to white, they have this privileged lifestyle in this country. Let me not say much. I want you guys to watch this of a Cuban speaking about this whole privilege that they have.
Sabe que nosotros los cubanos hemos sido privilegiados por el gobierno de los Estados Unidos. Muchas personas que son del Caribe, que son de Centroamérica, etcétera, no tienen el mismo privilegio que los cubanos. Entonces ahí es donde está el desequilibrio. Los únicos que le dicen papi, los gringos, es a nosotros los cubanos. Mira, a veces a un mexicano ellos le dicen papi. No, papi nada más para los cubanos.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys heard him. Now, I don't know why Cubans or whites from Cuba would think that, they are privileged in America. And I don't know, I've never really understood why any Latino, just because you are white, you think that you are the closest thing that these European descendants will actually give you privileges too. Now, I do understand that some of these white folks from Latin America, they are also descendant from Europe. It could be Spanish, it could be Portuguese, it could be Italian. We all know that this world, people move around. That's the history of humanity. People move around in search of greener pastures, in search of different opportunities. You feel me? Now, but the fact that some of these, our Latinos, our white Latinos, think that the moment they come into America, there is some kind of a blanket privilege that would just, white America is just going to dish it out to them. It's laughable, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie to you. It's truly laughable because as the African Americans, we know that it's crazy when it comes to privileges. Like, it's not even reasonable to think that you would come from outside. And then there is a minority here that like the black Americans that have been here for so long, for decades, who were brought here like slaves. You would think that those people would be getting all these privileges, but we've seen all over time and that these black Americans have not had the kind of privileges, and some black Americans are privileged. Let me know, no, that's not, I'm not going to tell you a lie. Some black Americans feel like they're privileged. I could talk about Tim Scott, but hey, we're not going to go down the road. But for these white Latinos to think that just because they have white skin, they are privileged more than any other minority, just like the gentleman said. You guys heard him right. He said white America likes them more than they like any other person from the Caribbean and Central America. And that to his own reasoning, Cubans are the only, white Cubans are the only ones that white America calls or relate to as papi. Man, I've been to New York. I worked in New York for like 4 years. I heard a whole lot of Dominican, Puerto Rican being called papi. So I don't know what this man is talking about. But yes, that being said, this whole privilege thing, I like how this didn't age well with some of these folks. Now guys, can you guys remember this song?
Ay, por Dios, yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Ay, por Dios, yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. No me creo la mentira que están poniendo en televisión. Y aunque digan lo que digan, mujeres por Donald Trump, la buena vida por Trump.
Yes, can you remember that song? I will vote for Donald Trump. Yes, you see that group? You see that woman in that group? Those were Cubans. Those are Cubans who in Florida who thought that, oh, they were super privileged to Donald Trump. The man came in, played his con game on them, brainwashed them, and then they gave him his vote. And then he came into power. Mind you, this was after the black Americans warned these folks. Stop doing this. You are putting your lives in danger and your family and your relatives' life in danger. This man is not to be trusted. But guess what? They didn't pay attention. They were like, we are privileged, man. They call us papi. You feel me? We are privileged and we will vote for Donald Trump. You feel me? And then guess what happens?
A wave of disappointment. One of President Donald Trump's most loyal voting blocs, Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. Now speaking out in Miami, a Republican stronghold, as the recent wave of deportations hits home and the Trump administration moved to end temporary legal status, or TPS, for more than 500,000 people who arrived.
That didn't age well, did it? That's the same lady that was singing and dancing. Guess what happened? Her husband got put on expedited. Like they want you out of here pronto. They want you out of here like last year. And this has happened to so many of these people that were singing and dancing, to some of their relatives, man, their spouses, man. And it's crazy to think that these minority will come into a land where the blacks have been here. Blacks came here as slaves. And you would think that white America would actually be giving you such privileges. Well, before I end this vlog, I want to say this. The only thing that these European descendants who came into this land of the Indians have in mind is to protect their own. The reason why they are creating a white-only community in Arkansas, I have never ever seen white America embrace and give privileges to any minority or any member of the minority community if it's not somebody who has money, wealth, because these folks, they believe in wealth, they believe in money, and they do understand that if a minority has money, they embrace you. However, they embrace you with some boundaries. This one is complicated, and my heart goes out to all my Latino communities that are being raided by ICE left and right. We see the videos, but hey, never think that you are privileged in this country because you see the white man can flip on you. And we've seen a whole lot of people with these sentiments all over social media being happy, being glad that some of these folks are being kicked out. But hey, I will vote for Donald Trump. Do not forget, stay blessed, folks.